Sacred ways to you, beautiful soul of the moor. Did you know that each blade of grass smiles at you? That is what they say of those who look at the tiniest pieces of life in a blade of grass under those microscope thingy-jingies. Smiles created by the plant's internal structures, specifically the vascular bundles, tubes that transport water and nutrients, and also the epidermal. Rev was not raised under any spiritual gathering of religious or spiritual belonging. God was already in me and around me that I sensed when I was a kid. Yes, I was connected to the earth and to the sky people and everything in between. I knew I was loved. I knew I had a purpose, communicating with creation. God communicated through his creation in wondrous ways to me back then as a kid and as a teen and at my own Walden Pond. You know, the feminine side of God flowed through the woods and the pond and the grass and the elements and the critters. It was flowing in the air in total abundance, surrounding me with acceptance and amazing love. It is life transforming, and the joy and tranquility that comes from God and creation is so supportive for Rev. It is the mystical medicine of God to be in oneness of creation, which is overflowing with a love, and compassion, and understanding of God. A closeness that's beyond words. The cultural ways will cover and hide these mystical ways. God has been the greatest teacher of the mystical more for Rev. These energies for the Creator are cleansing and refreshing and renewing. Even scriptures read that all creation was created through Yeshua. So guess who else I've met in the oneness of creation? There is constant communication with the divine here on the hill, out here in the country where we walk and breathe and we are. Here's a key for Rev that most would find hard because of the deep connections of culture, which is another far off place from who we really are and why we're really, really, really here. There's not much of God flowing freely out there. Some little thinking from this old hermit on the hill, when the God of love is outside in creation in total abundance, sacred sanctuary everywhere. Since I was a kid of the 50s and the 60s, I've not been a movie watcher. I will watch some TV with wife when we are dining together, like game shows or cooking shows. And I've been nudged not to listen to the radio. I do not follow sports. I do not read newspapers or magazines. God and creation keeps me informed in wondrous ways. Those things take my energies down, and they keep me glued, that's a good word, glued to the 3D box. They point to a lower energy, if I can say that. Creation communicates in higher vibrations of love and understanding. God in these ways is a great teacher and shaper and former ways of who we really are, and not in those institutional ways. They say spending time in nature can reduce our cortisol, our anxious and nervous levels, up to 21%. Looking at water, known as the blue prescription, can reduce blood pressure, lower stress levels, and boost happiness. As some of you know, my cardiologist told me after my stroke in 2021, I should not be here. But he knew my lifestyle being in oneness with God by being outside and spending much time on the back deckness of oneness of God, which is healthy. If you see that first word, healthy. Mr. Walt Whitman wrote, quote, I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars, end of quote. Because grass is smiling at us, it's a piece of God being in oneness within us. For me, it's pure love and the divine love. There's no fear whatsoever. In my near-death experience, I'm standing there in the midst of these much higher dimensional energies being loved on because I am with the I am. I'm in oneness and in tightness with the one who creates and moves and flows and is. Well, that was a sure sacred sentence. The more, yes, we're retired, I stay away from the Western ways and become ever so closer to God, to Wankatonka, to Gashla. I'm free, and I know I am love. You know, there's about faith. When you know that you know that you know God dwells within you and around us, I hear the divine voice in the trees, the plants, the grass, and the peppers and tomatoes and zucchinis that we grow here. The flying ones and the swimming ones and the four-legged ones and the crawling ones speak highly of this creator of love. The elements themselves speak loudly of this divine love that connects Rev to being the four elements like each one of us. The water and the earth and the wind people and the sun are cleansing for me as I release what I do not need. They also carry my prayers and love to them and to others, and in mystical ways, these loving prayers return to Rev. The power of one blade of grass is smiling at you, for you. Remember, in and through divine love, I've never found the fear factor that our institutions utilize on each one of us. We are so loved, and each one of us are amazing gifts from God. And when we discover we are gifts from the divine, it transforms us more into who we really are and why we are really here. Beautiful blessings to you until next time.